one of the key features of the One Ring role-playing game system is is very narrative driven. It's very immersive. You feel like you're taking part in a Tolkien game. The theme and the mechanics complement each other very well, and that extends to giving the players a lot of license, involving them in storytelling decisions and helping to define the world around them. And obviously that requires some player investment. Players need to feel like they're engaged, like they're excited and enthusiastic about the world and about their characters and the characters they interact with, their skills, their abilities, their impact on the world around them. If that's not happening, if the players are halfway in, 1 foot in and 1 foot out, they're kind of thinking, maybe I should have created a dwarf, or maybe I should be some kind of sneaky elf character instead of, a thug from Mirkwood, or a kind of knight character from Dale. If they're not enthusiastic about their character archetype, there are still things you can do to start to uncover parts of that character that actually might be interesting to them. So something you could do with your players is get them to tell you something about the backstory of the character that previously we didn't know about. Something from their past that could come back to haunt them. Maybe a misdeed that they carried out. That not only is there some psychological kind of hangover from that, but also that there might be a real in-game mechanical thing. A bunch of non-player characters might turn up and recognize the character. That could start a whole chain of events. Or there may be a kind of deeper, more interpersonal connection with the world through that event. So there may be a family that was impacted by this thing they did, that as a result has lost everything, and there's some connection there with the player character that they pull on in order to drag them into a plot line. So weaknesses of characters is definitely a way to make them more interesting. And if you look at kind of storytelling in cinema, in TV and books, heroes, lead characters, there's definitely a trend to find their weakness and make them flawed, sometimes deeply flawed, and it's by overcoming their personal flaws to impact some external event in the world that we as the audience become more invested in them and more interested in them. So there are definitely some interesting ways to tease things out of a character. If a character has become this kind of tired archetype in a player's mind that has maybe 2 dimensions at best, it's time to dig into that character and look at where they might have gone wrong, and what could be interesting about them in a kind of slightly broken way. Maybe we can feel sorry for them, maybe we can hate them a little bit, and maybe we want them to redeem themselves. And that's something I'm trying to do with one of my players at the minute. One of the ways that that I didn't actually really encourage him down this path, but he kind of went there on his own accord. But I've been using story cubes to add a bit of colour and incorporate some player-led storytelling in the game. And at the end of one of the sessions, I gave everyone 3 story cubes. They rolled them, and I said, "Okay, next session, bring a story about your character." And that can be, what they did in the downtime of the game, or it can be a kind of bit of a seed for a future adventure side quest. And it was a good way to get people thinking while they were out of the game. And one player in particular came with some really good narrative about his character and his character's past, which has given everyone a really good insight into this kind of slightly two-dimensional character. It's fleshed him out a lot more, and it's given us all a feel of who he really is. And for me, it's given me a sense of where things might be going wrong for him.